Hello there and welcome to Hack for Södertälje. At last we've started. My name is Tony McCarrick. I'm a digital strategist in the municipality of Södertälje, which is a small municipality outside Stockholm in Sweden. Not only have we a lot of hackers here who are going to help us, but we also have a lot of partners. And I would like to say special thanks to them. We have 16 different partners who are helping us. And they're helping us in many different ways. They're helping us with the prizes, which is great, of course, but above all, they're helping us with their knowledge and their know-how. So we have around 25 coaches who are going to help you guys who are hacking in your team in different areas that you need help. And it's all from people who really know lots of stuff about artificial intelligence or Internet of Things or open data, or sustainability, or business management, you name it, we have it. So I think this is one of the great strengths here, that so many people want to help Södertälje in our journey ahead. I want to say a special thanks to the jury. They're the people who are going to check out all the pitches in regard to the criteria that Ulrika is going to tell you about in a few minutes. And we have a great bunch. We have people with wonderful experience. We have people from Hack the Earth, we have people from Södertälje, we have people from the municipality, we have people with lots of knowledge about open data. So we're all in good hands. And thanks again for the jury members for taking your time and making this an important thing, and we appreciate it. In a few minutes I'm going to let you meet some more of my colleagues, and it's Ulrika is going to come in, Michaela is going to come in, and Andreas, and we're all going to do our very best so that you guys who have taken your time and knowledge to help Södertälje, that you really get as much as possible about this action. A hackathon, for us anyway, we think that a hackathon is about answering the question, how do you make change and how do you make innovation happen? And we mean you make it happen and you give it the possibility of it to happen by gathering people who see the world in different ways, with different background and different knowledge, and under a short period of time try and solve some of the challenges. So we're really excited. A number of time slots you have to think about that you have to keep. We try to keep them as short as possible. Some of you guys have already organized a team, so you've chosen your challenges, so you're already started, and that's great. Some of you have not started a team. Remember now, the deadline to form your team is at 1800 hours Swedish time. That's one deadline. Then there are some other things happening during the night. You can check them out on the timeline, which is on the platform. And the next big thing that you have to think about is at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, you have to leave in your pitch. If you haven't left it in, then the jury don't get the material. So you have to meet those deadlines. So keep an eye on the deadlines, keep an eye on the questions. Why are we here? We're here to solve some problems. And what are the problems? Well, we have worked together in the municipality and talked to a lot of people in the municipality, but also with our citizens. And we've got together 10 different challenges. And the 10 different challenges are in the theme of the hackathon, which is the inclusive society, the sustainable society, and the connected society. And in the first two we have 3 challenges each, and in the last one we have 4. On the platform, if you just scroll down, there you can see all the challenges, and we try to describe them. So one of the first jobs you guys have to do, if you haven't done it already, is you have to choose which challenge do you want to address. It's really important that you read the challenge properly, because when you're then going to make your pitch, you have to really make sure that this pitch that you put in corresponds to the criteria that the jury is going to judge on. So the whole thing sticks together. So keep your eye on the challenges, don't overkill it, and best of luck. And before I leave over the word, I have one message for you guys out there. Enjoy the moment.
Hi, my name is Ulrika. I am a business developer in Södertälje municipality, During this hackathon, I will keep an extra eye on the chat to make sure you get the responses from the coaches. And also you can always reach out to me if you have any questions or wonderings, and I will answer to you as soon as possible. Before you start with your solutions, it's a good idea to look at the criteria on the hackathon platform. They are, among others, how well the solution responds to the challenge. And it's also about how innovative the solution is and the usefulness for the largest amount of people. So before you start to hack, read the criteria on the hackathon platform, and best of luck!
Hello there, my name is Alex and I'm one of the organisers of Hack for Södertälje 2022. 2 years ago I took part in the first edition of Hack for Södertälje, and to be honest with you, I didn't know much about the municipality and I'd never been to Södertälje at all. So it was held physically, so I had to go there, and to be honest, I got lost along the way. So I got there late, and once I got there, I managed to form a team and started looking into the different challenges, asking many questions, reading a lot and trying to understand more about the municipality and the challenges themselves, but also what would lie behind them and the background to that. And we then, within the team, we brainstormed a lot, had many ideas, and in the end managed to merge them all into one solution that we then developed and pitched. And surprisingly, we even managed to win first prize, which was a great experience. But beyond the actual hacking and developing a solution, which obviously is fantastic, the fun part was meeting so many interesting people, both amongst fellow hackers, but also amongst the mentors and organizers, many of which I still keep in contact with today. And what I can recommend to you is to really take the opportunity to meet people and learn new things, because you never know, one could be your future colleague or your employer or a good friend that you keep for life. So make sure you make the full use of that chat function I'm going to show you very soon. So in order to take part in this hackathon, you will need to register to the online digital platform called Eventonado. I'm now going to show you how it works. This is the Eventonado platform where the whole hackathon will take place. In the homepage, you can see the basic information about the hackathon, and you can read about the different challenges. There are 10 different challenges to choose from. Make sure you take a chance to scroll through them and read which one is most interesting for you. For example, my eye is this one here, Excelling Waste Management, catches my eye. So let's see what it's about. I can then read about the challenge here and see if it's something that I'm interested in. Let's see the background, things to consider, impact, sustainable and efficient waste management with minimal impact on the environment. That sounds like a great idea. Also, I get the chance to see the timeline here at the side, that the registration and idea sharing opens, and then team formation starts. On 2nd of February, opening ceremony, and then the hacking starts. It's not that many hours for hacking, so make sure you think about, read up about things, and think about ideas, and start talking to people before the actual opening ceremony. Here you've got more information about the coaches. The coaches are professionals who've got a lot of experience in the field. You find their names here and what they can help you with. These are great to ask questions, get feedback, get some mentoring during the hackathon. You'll be able to contact them via the chat system that I'll be showing you very shortly. But here you've got the list of them, so that you know. Resources is also very important. It's the different data sets, some provided by the municipality of Södertälje, and other open data sets, which are very useful for understanding the problem in its full complexity. And here, further information about with guidelines on how this whole hackathon works, the chat system, and so forth. What you need to do to be able to access this is create an account with Eventonado. Once you've done that, you'll then need to press a green button here that you should have, which says register. And that is how you register for the hackathon. You put your name and surname, and you specify if you are joining with your own team or if you're going to meet a new team there. And then you get to, once you've done that, you get access to the event chat. Here we've got the different channels for the different topics. So here we've got Ask the Organizers is a channel that me as organizer with the rest of the organizing team will be monitoring, and we'll be answering questions. I wrote a question and you'll be recognized as organizers, but the fact that we've got organizer in bracket written next to our names. And so earlier I wrote this question to see if anyone would reply, and eventually someone will give me a reply to this question, or in this case I could reply to myself. But anyhow, that is the ask the organizers. If you need help with a specific question, you can ask for support from the coaches. And here I've, for example, written earlier that I need help to prepare the pitch. So I'm looking for someone who could be available to have a quick meeting with me. This is also a place where we can actually have meetings directly. And if you want to speak to anyone in particular, like a fellow hacker or a mentor or an organizer, you can find them by typing their name here. And like, for example, I spoke to fellow organizer Lucas earlier. So this is our private chat. If Lucas was online, he'd have a green light here, and I can write him a message here. And as you can see, I've also got several chat options. I can also call him and attach files and so forth. There's quite a lot of functionalities there. Once you form a team, you have your own team group chat where you can write things, share links and so forth, and also do a group call, which is very useful. This makes sure that all the information and all the functionalities in the hackathon are all on the same one-stop platform. This channel here in particular is something that you need to look out for. It's the hackathon spirit. I'll be in charge of this channel, and this is going to have some community events which will maybe teach you something new about Södertälje, maybe also give you the opportunity of meeting other participants beyond your team members. And it is very fun, and there might be also a special prize for one of the teams which is most active there. So make sure you look out for that, and it will be fun. I can't reveal you what's going to happen there. It's top secret, but you'll find out in the course of the hackathon. Tools and resources where you will find people posting about tips, and you can also you find some extra resources that are not mentioned in the information page, and so that your fellow participants can also benefit from that. Here you can discuss topics connected to the hackathon, the different challenges, and maybe it's also a good place to share some of your thoughts and see if anybody else feels the same way, especially in the team formation stage. But in order to maximize the opportunity, the chance of your idea getting seen by other people, you need to go to My Idea. Now, I've already written a sort of draft of an idea, so you most likely will have to, okay, whilst it's loading. So I've already submitted this draft of the idea, but anyway, let's go to edit it. You can edit it multiple times, and at the beginning phase, the important is writing a title for the idea and a short description. The shorter the better, because the idea is that other participants can read it and request to join your team if needed. Here you also put your keywords. Recycling, for example. Press enter, and I've added that keyword there. And then here we have to I select the challenge, and in this case I'm interested in excelling waste management. The name of my idea is Making Recycling Great Again, and this is the description that I've started writing. Very short, but quite good. And yes, that's it, I think. Update. Great, my idea is updated, and this is my idea. I can also edit this and upload a picture to make it more personalized. And this is the team name that I created, Crazy Pandas. And for now, you can see that the members of the team, it's just me. So I need fellow participants. I need more participants to join me. I'm okay with business and product, but I'm not really good at developer. So I need a developer and a UX designer and a full stack. And also, maybe someone good with storytelling. Actually, someone with business, maybe. Okay. Set missing roles, and now other participants will be able to see this idea and also see what kind of roles I'm missing. Also, they'll be able to leave a comment underneath and ask questions or engage with you directly in private chat as they see you here, and they can write to you, send an email, or write to you a direct chat message, which I won't be able to do with myself, I don't think. So I'll leave that there. But either how, this is how you share your idea. And once you share your idea, you hopefully attract other participants to join you in your team, and you can start discussing and then eventually working together. If you do not manage to find anyone to join with your idea, don't worry, keep the idea saved on a piece of paper. You can use it next year. But in the meantime, try and join another team. It's fun to work on other ideas, and the whole process of meeting people and collaborating together at a distance is a very interesting experience to have. So that said, I wish you the best of luck. It's going to be a fantastic hackathon, and I look forward to seeing you at the events. So keep an eye on the participation channel. See you then.
Hello hackers, my name is Andreas Sundberg and I will be attending this hack as a coach. I work as a strategic business developer at the digitalization unit in Södertälje, and my specialist areas in this hackathon will be the current setup of IoT, AI and open data in Södertälje. I will now give a brief introduction into the work we have done in these areas in Södertälje. We're trying to build what we like to call our ecosystem. It's how we're trying to integrate different technologies to make something bigger. For instance, our different sensors that communicate on our IoT platform, and how we publish some of this data as open data on our open data platform. From the open data platform, our municipal AI chatbot Kim, built on natural language processing, can read data and publish it, make it available for the citizen. The same is regarding the citizen app as well. When we're talking open data, we have a few examples here. We've been working with open data since 2019, and we have 57 datasets. It's a lot of statistics and geographical data, but also some IoT data as mentioned. We have an open data platform that you can reach on södertälje.se/psi data. Here you can find all of our open data. One example of open data in Södertälje is that we are publishing all of our invoices. So you can find metadata on all of the municipalities' invoices from the entirety of 2021. Our IoT platform is built on LoRaWAN, which stands for Long Range Wide Area Network. And we can, with 15 gateways in total, cover more or less the entire geographical area of Södertälje. They have a very long range and are very battery efficient, so the sensors often have battery life of 5, 10, 15 years. This is a quick architectural sketch of how the IoT platform works in Södertälje. From the left we have different sensors from different suppliers, and the sensors communicate on the LoRaWAN net that is a joint effort between Teljenet, that is the municipal network provider, and Network that operates as an operator in the network. We of course have different applications and user interfaces to access the data, for instance to show the fill levels of public waste bins for route optimization, and also open data. And the users are, for instance, the Office for City Planning, Telje Group, the public, the media and others. Some of our IoT data we don't publish as open data. This is just used for internal data-driven decision making. For instance, we have put sensors at City Hall to count the visitors. And this is of course an important information when we in the future will begin going back to work and at City Hall, so we can plan which days we should be there and which days we should not be there. Another internal data set is our connected waste bins, where we have the sensors in the existing waste bins, and we can use this for route optimization and decreased CO2 emissions and so on. This is an example of the waste pickup route from before and after the implementation. A red dot is a stop they had to do regardless of the fill level of the waste bins. So of course you can see that there's both time and emissions to save here. But a lot of our IoT data we also publish as open data. this is one of our first and more common examples, where we have the temperature sensors in the public beaches. So you can view it. We view it in a visualization as seen on screen. You can talk to the chatbot Kim and ask for the temperature reading. You can view it in the Citizen app, and of course there's an open API available at our open data platform. The same is regarding the parking spaces. On this image we can see the different connected parking spaces. This is the accessibility enabled parking spaces, and you can see in real time which ones are free and which ones are not. You can ask the chatbot, the Citizen app, and open APIs. We've started using Edge AI sensors. Edge AI means that all of the data crunching is done within the sensor itself. And this is a sensor installed at a larger municipal parking space that takes 105 cars, and the sensors use an advanced AI algorithm to detect when cars are coming and going, so it can show a level of availability. Also, this is available as an open API. We have started measuring air quality at different locations. For instance, this is a public school in Södertälje. We have some other sensors both in development or during installation. For instance, we are installing right now electric car charging occupancy sensors, so we can show which of the municipalities owned car charging spots that are free to use right now. As you can see on the image to the right here, we have the bicycle traffic flow sensor. That's also an Edge AI sensor that detects bicycles, and this can be used both for internal data-driven decision making, but also as open data. We have started work on installing Edge AI sensors to detect waste dumping, which is also a big problem in the municipality. We have started putting sensors in different waste and resource containers, for instance textile containers, and also sensors on life buoys and snow depth sensors and so on. That's all I have right now. If you have any questions regarding our setup and the strategy going forward, don't hesitate to contact me. I am a coach and I am here for you. Please contact me in the chat and we will set up a meeting and we can discuss things further. Thank you from me, and good luck hacking.
In this video, you will get a grip of processes that will most likely define your 24-hour hackathon experience. And you will also be given tips and tools on how to get the most out of your hackathon. But first, have you heard the story about the waiting game? Before we tell you the story, let's take a short while and reflect on why do you think mirrors are placed inside elevators as well as outside of them? Well, during the post-war boom in high-rise buildings, people were complaining about the long waiting times. They complained about both having to stand in line to wait for the elevators at the ground floor and to wait inside the elevator before arriving at the right floor. So, how were the engineers to solve this problem? People were starting to get really annoyed. Should they build more elevators, or should they build elevators that could hold more people? The key in this story is about the perception of time. Because when it comes to waiting, perception is actually more important than reality. So instead of building better elevators, the engineers came up with the idea to install mirrors both inside the elevators and outside of them, where people queue. So what happened? Well, complaints stopped because people could spend their time waiting, watching themselves in the mirror, which made them less aware of the sense of time. It seems like a very easy solution compared to faster elevators, but the key here was that the engineers adapted a human-centered design perspective, and they attacked the psychology behind the waiting game. It isn't hard to do it, you just need to be aware of it and develop a sensitivity towards it. Therefore, it's important to think outside the box and to challenge your assumptions. To make this possible, you can use the mindset design thinking and apply a design process. And we hope to guide you on how to embrace these approaches. So, what are we trying to tell you with this story? Well, to make assumptions about the context and the people you are creating a solution for could be one's downfall that can result in big consequences in the future. You could, for example, miss out on business opportunities, or that you unconsciously exclude people that will be affected by the solution that you develop. In this case, it would have been really expensive to build faster elevators compared to installing a few mirrors.
So, who are we? Well, we are your design thinking coaches. We will help you understand the importance of design thinking, how to make use of a design process, and how to make the most out of your hackathon experience. If you want any guidance and help along the 24 hours, don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you. Let us start with understanding what design thinking is. Design thinking is an iterative process in which we want to understand the user, to challenge assumptions, and to redefine problems. We do this in an attempt to identify alternative strategies and solutions that might not be instantly apparent with our initial level of understanding. Design can solve all problems. It doesn't matter what your problem is: sales, education, science. Using a design thinking mindset will help you find a solution. And design can be done by all people. Skills, training, experience, talent, none of it actually matters. You just have to believe in design thinking, and you can become a designer today. But to the question, how should you then apply design thinking during the hackathon? There are many ways you can adopt the design thinking mindset, and we will explain one of them today. This visualization shows 5 common phases that you perform in a design project: empathize, define, ideate, visualize solution, and validate. It is 5 equally important phases that helps ensuring that the design solution is well thought out and that it fits the target group. You might think that each phase follows the other, but note something important about this picture. Some of them might require iterations and repetitions due to the project's circumstances. This means that the process is iterative. For a 24-hour hackathon, these phases might look different, rather something like this. Why? Well, because you will most likely spend most of your time on ideation and visualization, as those activities will bring your idea to life. But recall the waiting game for a second. The story demonstrated the importance of empathizing with the target group. And this is why we will argue for why the first and the last steps are just as important as the other ones, even though you are challenged by a rough time limit. And that's why the remaining of this video will focus on the steps empathize and validate. But don't worry, we have some tips for all phases that we have saved in a cheat sheet that will be accessible to you in the end of this presentation.
So, let's dig in on the first phase, which is to empathize. What is empathizing? It is essentially about deepening the understanding of the intended target group, learning about their patterns, behaviors, and needs. And why is this important? Well, just like in the waiting game example, this helps you motivate why your design solution is the best fit for the target group. If we are to empathize with users, we should always try to adopt the mindset of a beginner. What this means is that as designers or design thinkers, we should always do our best to leave our own assumptions and experiences behind when making observations. We decrease the risk of making assumptions by stepping into our users' shoes. But how do we empathize? Well, there are numerous ways in which you empathize and broaden the understanding of the user's experience, needs, and context. And one of the most common ways is to use interviews. But since you are time limited, there are also many less time-consuming methods available which are good enough to gain insights about the target group. A quicker version of an interview is to talk to the user. And we suggest to simply talk to your target group to get an understanding of their needs and wishes. It can give you a lot of insights and don't require much time. Just make sure to prepare some short questions that you want answers to. You can also use contextual and competitive analysis. And these are two methods you can use to get a sense of the world and surrounding that your design solution is intended for. This helps you to position your ideas into potential gaps and unfulfilled needs. And once you've found your problem area, you can also look at similar solutions and see what they do good and get inspired from it. You can also see what they miss out on or do bad that you can do better in your solution. There are also many more ways to empathize. For one, you can explore materials such as videos, reports, forums, and organizations online. And remember, you don't have to be organized.
How do we know our designed solution fits the target group? Well, that leads us to the other phase we want to emphasize, validation. Let's rewind back to the waiting game and ask ourselves, how would we know if the mirrors next to the elevators works? Well, through validation. The purpose of validation is to investigate whether your designed solution meets the predefined goals, if it matches your target group, and if it fulfills their needs. You can see validation as basically testing your solution, and we need to test to remain user-centric. But it also makes good business sense. By testing your ideas, you are able to identify design flaws and usability issues before you take the product to the market. This has countless of benefits for you, the user, and the business. But how do you validate? Just as there are many ways to empathize, there are equally many ways to validate. Normally, you would perform more comprehensive interviews with users and apply various usability tests. But considering your 24-hour time limit, we suggest the following methods. A quick and efficient method to validate is to simply go back to the user and talk to them again. Present your solution and collect their feedback. Ask questions to explore if they like your solution. Is it something that fulfills their needs? Ask why and why not. Use your insights to tweak your solution to make it even better. Talk to experts. There is no better time than now to talk to experts about your designed solution. Present your idea and your target and collect their expert opinion. As a matter of fact, during the 24-hour hackathon, many different experts will be present and at your service. Don't forget to talk to them. Reflect on your findings. Another way to validate your solution is to go back to your previous findings to see if your solution is in line with your findings. And if they are, then you have done your job well. Compare to brief. Don't forget to evaluate your solution to the hackathon challenge requirements. Have you done what was asked for? Have you sold what needed to be sold? However, if your solution doesn't align with your findings or your users' needs, you need to investigate what aspects of your solution that doesn't fit the target group or the goals, and how you can improve those. You might need to do some new ideation, search for more information, or change something else to improve your solution. This is part of the iterative hackathon design process. No one makes everything perfect the first time.
So just to wrap it up, we have given you an overview of the hackathon design process and some of the phases in more depth. But just to remind you again, you can find the cheat sheet in the link below and also in the QR code on the screen. This cheat sheet can provide you with even more tips and tricks than what we've offered you so far. Also in the presentation, we explain why you need to empathize and to validate your design solution, since we as design thinkers think that those are extra important to not forget. And the main takeaways from these phases are, firstly, to make sure that you create value for the target group by empathizing with them, which means that you dig deep into their problem area, because this will also give you better prerequisites for a relevant and focused ideation afterwards. And secondly, you should try to validate your assumptions in some way to make sure that you are on the right track. And to validate also helps you to motivate your solution to the intended target group and to other stakeholders. A tip is to use your validation and use your insights into motivating your design solution when you present your result in the hackathon. And when it comes to general tips regarding the hackathon process, we want you to reflect on where in the process you are as a team and where you want to put your emphasis. Consider what your strengths and weaknesses are. And once you get to know each other, we advise you to get an overview of the challenge ahead and what you need to do in order to reach a solution. You can make a rough plan to ensure you have enough time for all phases. As you know, you only have 24 hours, so make sure to prioritize and be as efficient as possible with your time. Since the hackathon will be fully digital, it is also important to have good tools for collaborating online. And you can find some good tools in the cheat sheets.
At last, we just want to wish you good luck. Remember, don't hesitate to ask us or any of the other coaches for help. We are here to help you and to guide you. We hope that you get some really fun and exciting 24 hours of hacking for Södertälje. Happy hacking!
Okay guys, don't forget now that a big strength of this hackathon is that you have over 20 different coaches that you can get help from. And on the platform you can find their names, you can find what kind of qualifications they have, you can find out which times during the hackathon you can get help. You can talk to them in a chat, you can book in a video meeting with them, a short meeting, a longer meeting. Use the possibility with the coaches. They're here because they want to help. So just reach out and they will reach out back to you, and let's make the magic happen together.